Did you see me jumping on the trampoline? Hi everyone! I was just jumping on the trampoline. And no matter how hard I jumped or how high, there's no way I could have gone through the ceiling or the roof and made it straight into heaven. Because that's really not how you go to heaven. You can't jump on a trampoline or ride on an airplane or a hot air balloon or on a kite or anything like that to get to heaven. And so Jesus didn't go to heaven that way either. But we'll talk about that because this story is about Jesus going to heaven. It is from Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20, and Acts chapter 1, verses 1 through 11. After the resurrection, which is when Jesus came back from the dead and was alive again, he had a new body. It looked the same, but it wasn't the same. It was in a different form. I have a way of showing you. You ready? Okay, so what is this? We all know this is water. And I can drink this water and I can pour this water. And if this water is in my shower, I can take a shower. Or if it's in the bathtub, I can take a bath. I can make tea or anything. I can cook with it. It's water. It's pourable. But do you know that this is also water? Do you know what this is? This is ice. Look, there it is. Oh my, it's cold, but it is water. It is water that has been frozen and is now hard. It's hard, isn't it? Can you hear it? So it is water, but it's not really pourable like this water. Well, water has another form. And I don't know if you could see, but there is steam rising from this hot cup of water. Steam is another form of water. It is water that has been transformed, and can you see it? It's rising up into the air. And that is how Jesus went home. He wasn't steam, but he had a different body form that was allowed to rise right up to heaven. Now, before we get to that part of the story, I do want to talk to you a little bit about what happened after he came back from the dead. He had 40 whole days to spend with his disciples and his friends that he loved so very much. He had lots to tell them. Wouldn't you have a lot to say to somebody before you say goodbye? You know, when I say goodbye to all those people that I love, I have to tell them, I love you, I can't wait to see you again soon, and I have to give them lots of hugs and kisses. Well, Jesus wanted to make sure that his disciples and all of his friends felt they were loved. He loved them so much. They talked about that. They also talked about a lot of things, like when he was coming back. They also talked about what he wanted them to do while they were waiting. It's hard to wait, isn't it? I have to wait here inside my house for somebody to tell me that I can go. I have to wait sometimes for dinner to be ready. And I know that you have to wait sometimes for your moms and dads when they drop you off at church to pick you up. And sometimes it makes you a little sad to wait, but we all have to wait. But while we're waiting, Jesus has a job for us. And he said that in Matthew 28, 19 and 20. It's our April Bible verse. We should do it because this is the last Sunday in April and we should practice. Are you ready? Matthew 28, 19 and 20. Go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all I have commanded, and I will be with you until the end of time. That's what he wants us to be doing in the meantime while we're waiting. So then it came time for Jesus to go. And I don't know if they were ready, but he had to go. He had to go home. So I'm going to read to you from Acts chapter 1, verses 6 through 11 from the Bible. It says, "When the apostles were with Jesus, they kept asking him, 'Lord, has the time come for you to free Israel and restore our kingdom?' Jesus said, 'The Father alone has the authority to set those dates and times, and they are not for you to know. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses, telling people about me everywhere. In Jerusalem, throughout Judea, in Samaria, and to the ends of the earth.' After saying this, he was taken up into a cloud while they were watching, and they could no longer see him. As they strained to see him rising into heaven, 2 white-robed men suddenly stood among them. 'Men of Galilee,' they said, 'why are you standing here staring into heaven? Jesus has been taken from you into heaven, but someday he will return from heaven in the same way you saw him go.'" He's coming back. He's coming back for you and me, but we have to be busy. We've got a job to do. But he's doing his job. Well, when he went to heaven, he went to go sit on a throne because he is a king. So he's sitting on his big throne, but he's really busy because he's listening to your prayers and my prayers. He's talking to God the Father about you and me and what we're praying about. I can just hear him say, "God the Father, did you hear Mrs. Pablo's prayer? She's praying for her family, and she's praying about her CBC family. She wants them all to be safe." He's hearing your prayers too, and he's talking to God the Father about them. I can just hear it now. "God the Father, did you hear Tommy's prayer, and Ellie's prayer, and Alden's prayer, and Addie's prayer, and Skylar's prayer, and all the prayers of all my friends at CBC?" He says he can hear you, and he's working on your prayers. Some of you are praying for people who are sick or sad, and he hears your prayers. He sometimes tells me to wait, and I have such a hard time waiting. Sometimes he tells me yes, but sometimes he tells me no. And I'm just glad that he's listening and that somehow he's working things out. And all I have to do is wait. But while I'm waiting, I have a job to do. And I hope that you're going to do your job too. He wants us to go and tell other people about him. Will you do that with me? Well, we can't do it right now because I'm stuck in this house. I have to wait in my house. I can't go down the street and tell my neighbor about Jesus. But maybe I can write them a note. Or maybe I can call them on the telephone and do that. But I'm still stuck in this house. I can't go to church and see all of my friends. But that's okay. I can pray for you, and Jesus hears all of my prayers just like he does yours. All right, we're going to practice our April verse one more time because next week you're going to get another verse, and we'll practice that next week. Are you ready? Okay, Matthew 28, 19 and 20. "Go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all I have commanded, and I will be with you until the end of time." Well, it's the end of my time for teaching today, and I am so glad that you got to be here. I cannot wait to see you again. And between now and next time, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'll be praying for you. See ya. Bye.